Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Between Horizons. And in the last episode, guys, Stella received a shock because she was able to discover who was behind all the dissident behavior on board the Zephyr. Her good friend Ava the teacher, her roommate, for all intents and purposes after the disaster, is actually the mastermind behind this, and her intentions aren't necessarily just for chaos, but to bring democracy on board the Zephyr, which is, kind of a double-edged sword. I can see the benefits and disadvantages of that. But as far as the game goes, we have got one case left, and that is the hacker discover who changed the Zephyr's course in the first place. And we've kind of narrowed down all of our suspects, and the only person that it really could be is Eric. Now, we don't know a whole lot about Eric, but out of all the men who had access to the navigation room, and they did say that it was a man who did the hacking, he's the only one without an alibi. So they've warned us that once we submit this, there's no going back. But before we do, I think there's some other stuff that we need to find out, and that actually revolves around Talia's secret, with a big old question mark right there. Navigator Joseph urged Captain Talia to share it with the population about Otis, the star the Zephyr has changed course to. So let's go ahead and see. I forgot if he is actually still in the navigation room. I'm giving this some thought, and we're going to go chat with him, see if it's viable to ask him about Talia's secret, and if not, I think I know who I need to talk to afterward. I have nothing to say about that right now. Alright, Joseph is staying tight-lipped. But you know who may not be tight-lipped about it? Maybe Joseph's daughter. So I believe she's actually hanging out in the server room? Yeah, the room full of servers. She's hanging out there with Eric. So I'm wondering if we ask her about this, if Eric's going to take exception. Only one way to find out, though, right? And if this is kind of a dead end, I may do some stuff off camera. And if we can't find anything else, I guess we'll just accuse Eric of being the hacker and see where it takes us. Server room this way? Yes. And this is Noelia. Could I borrow your attention again for a moment? Navigator Joseph was at the captain's office earlier. Do you know why? No idea, Chief. They said something about Otis and Iris. Iris? Otis is a star we've known for a long time. Nothing secret about it. So neither of you know what Joseph wanted from the captain? No. Are you sure? Oh, they're the navigators too, aren't they? Why don't you ask Joseph? Of course I'm asking him too. Is this all you have to say? Noelia knows something. Oh. Got a cutscene. Stella. Noelia? My dad messaged me about everything that went down at the captain's office. Oh. Thank you for not locking him up. He said he was very surprised you let him go. Well, it was my judgment that he didn't pose a direct threat. You did the right thing. I know he doesn't want me to tell you, but I feel you should know the truth about Otis. The captain told you about the course change. Yes. Did she tell you where we're going? She said there's another star there. Not just a star, Stella. A planet. She didn't tell you about Otis B, did she? Tell me what? Noelia, what are you saying? My dad was working late one night when a message from Earth came in. The captain was with him. Our plotted course was going to get us very close to a star called Otis. Extremely close in interstellar travel terms. Of course, we knew this already, and we thought we knew everything about Otis since long before the Zephyr was even built. But the message that night changed everything. Tell me what it said. One of the planets in the system has become viable, fit for human life. What? That's impossible. Earth has developed a new terraforming technology. Could we do it? Could we go and live on this planet? It seems that way. So, did the mission change? No, this was supposed to stay a secret, only for the captain's eyes. Why for her eyes? Why would they tell any one of us? If they want us to go to Eurus D, it makes no sense to me. Did you see the message? No, only my dad and Talia did. You're saying we could be breathing a natural atmosphere within just a few years? That's what you're saying? Yes. Have you told anyone else? No. It's been very hard. I've been wrestling with it for months. Our closest approach was going to come up next week. I've been feeling the pressure mounting every day. I think my dad has felt the same for a while, but we try to avoid the topic. This is a lot. Listen, Stella, I don't know why Earth informed us I don't know either why Earth informed us about this. And I don't fully understand why we weren't ordered to change course right then and there. Our mission is to bring humanity to a new planet, so why not this one? Noelia, did you change the ship's course? No. No, I swear I didn't. Were you going to do anything? I don't know. But you know what I think? I think Talia's son got too close to the truth. Curtis, why do you think so? We were pretty close up until recently. I often saw him at work or on my way there. But he started acting paranoid a few weeks ago, and it got worse pretty quickly. I asked him about it multiple times, but he kept beating around the bush. When he was put in the psych ward, it seemed Talia tried to avoid addressing it completely. Oh, I did not know that. Okay. But of course, she had to say something about it eventually, and it was very cryptic if you remember. She said he was acting overly paranoid. Didn't you just say the same? Yes, but what if he actually had reason to? What if he was afraid Talia had put him away and medicated to keep him from talking? So you think he found out the truth about Otis? Or maybe Talia told him about it in confidence? Yes, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I would have asked him already if I was allowed to visit him in the psych ward. I can visit anyone there as long as I'd say it's for a case. That's what I was getting at. I should definitely see what he has to say. Otis B clearly plays a huge role in all this, and maybe Curtis knows something crucial about it. Thank you for telling me all this. Good luck, Stella. I hope you do the right thing.
It's hard to describe what I felt in that moment. It was like the prospect of spending my life on a planet would not fit into my brain. It had taken me so long to come to terms with the fact that I would die on the ship. I didn't want to relitigate the issue just to set myself up for more disappointment. For a good while, I tried not to think about it at all. Talia had clearly kept this from me, and I began to wonder what else she was hiding. Her story still didn't fully make sense. How could we use that new technology? Wouldn't Earth have to send something? Materials? Blueprints? Would they even work with us at all if we failed to complete the mission? Besides, terraforming was a process that could take decades or even hundreds of years. There were so many questions I could have asked, maybe should have asked, if only I had taken 2 seconds to think about it logically.
Nope. Too much time's been wasted. Okay, psych ward. I was wondering, we hadn't had a chance to go to the psych ward yet. Okay, psychiatric department. Let's go. The plot is thickening. I mean, it's already pretty thick already. think we can talk to the receptionist. And the guy's name was Curtis, right? Oh, there he is.
No, Sonara. Is Assistant Captain Curtis here? Yeah? Is it possible for me to talk to him? To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. What does that mean? The captain seems very concerned about his condition and what he might say to people. That she disallowed all visits to him. She implied it, but she also knows that decisions like this are the discretion of the medical staff. So what does the medical staff say? I'll open the doors for you. Thank you.
You've got access. A new location to explore. Okay, there's Curtis. What about the rest? Is anyone else hanging out in here? No other patients? Wow, he is in here all by himself. Oh. Okay.
Assistant Captain Curtis, I need to talk to you about something very important. Do you feel like you're in the right state of mind?
Are you asking me if I'm too crazy to be a reliable source?
No, I'm asking if you're too medicated.
No, I'm barely getting any meds at this point. My mom pushed for stronger medication when I got here, but they stopped giving me that stuff after a few days.
In that case, I need to ask you something. I overheard an argument between Navigator Joseph and Talia earlier. Do you have an idea what that could have been about?
I know a lot of people have a lot of problems with her style, so not in particular.
So there's nothing that the Navigator specifically may know about?
What are you getting at?
Alright, listen. I've received information that you may have been looking into Talia's affairs.
Wait, did she put you up to this?
No, on the contrary. She seems to be hiding something, and I want to know what you were able to out. You were trying to dig into Talia's secrets. What was it you were after?
Let it go. It would just make things more complicated if you knew.
Did she have you thrown in here when you confronted her?
No, nothing like that. I didn't confront her about anything.
So you were trying to get into her computer, her PDA records?
And where on the ship would I get my hands on those? Show Curtis the correct series of clues to answer his questions. He won't talk unless you show him that you have him dead to rights. Oh, the correct series of clues? Oh, no. Okay. Oh, man. This is like ultimate detective test here. Let me look over the evidence here real quick and see what we can do. So I don't know if this is like a 3-strike policy thing, but I wanted to go over my options very carefully. Where on the ship would Curtis get hands on PDA records? I assume that would be... Let's see, where are we at? The server room, right? Do we have that available? Okay, Earth Museum, Lewis's bunk. Oh, the server room's not here. Wait, it has to be. Wouldn't it? Network access point? Maybe. Locker room? Ooh. Okay, I need to look at that again. Thrown here, you're trying to get her computer, her PDA records. Where on the ship would I get my hands on those? Okay, maybe not the server room? I need to... There we go. Laboratories, farm. Yeah, there's the server room. Right there, but can we actually bring that? Ah, here we go. Alright, let's try the server room. Please let this, I hope... I guess. But I'm not cleared to be down there. I would have to break in, and I doubt you have proof of forced entry. Do I have... I've got a broken door right here. That doesn't mean anything. But assuming just for a second I was down there, what network would I have tried to get into? He is just... okay. In terms of the network, that would be the PDA network terminal then, wouldn't it? I assume so, but let me look over everything again just to make sure. You know, I just had a horrible thought while I was looking this over. I was trying to look at, I think everything is just the PDA network terminal. And I was just like, where have we seen that broken door? And then it hit me like a shot to the gut. This is the situation that led to Stella's dad being killed. This is the dude in the cloak that we thought may have been a lady. Oh man. Okay, I'm looking over all of this. I'm just going to go PDA network terminal and see what happens here. You stole backups from the PDA network, didn't you? Stella. And I saw you that night, didn't I? He did do it. It was an accident, I swear. I didn't mean for things to go down that way. You killed my dad. Stella, I couldn't possibly known that. You killed my dad. Assistant Captain Curtis. I'm placing you under arrest for the murder of the Chief of Security. I am so sorry for what happened. Please listen to me. No. We'll have a proper conversation in the brig, and then you're going to stay there for a long, long time. The brig. What difference will it make to this place? My own mother locked me away already. I'm stuck in a room on this ship now. We were always going to be stuck on this ship together. So we were always going to have to work together. Not if I shoot you. Then I wouldn't be able to tell you what I found. I know the truth about Otis B. What else could you possibly have to offer to me? You know? I know we don't have to be stuck on this ship. How did you get your hands on the message? I didn't. I was told about it. So tell me one good reason not to. Do you know who sent the message? Of course. It came from Earth. Did Talia tell you that? Why would you believe her? What does it matter? Stella, why would Earth tell us about this? Don't you think they'd anticipate a huge risk of abandoning the mission? Well, who else would? The message was sent from another ship. Another ship? But we're the only one. The one egg in the second basket. Not anymore. Now we're just the backup egg in the third basket. Are you fucking with me? You're just saying anything now to get out of this. Or maybe Talia keeps lying to you and everybody else. She would protect the mission at any cost. Of course she doesn't want anyone to know about the Iris. The Iris? Joseph mentioned that name to her. Tell me everything you know. If you're lying about this, I will shoot you later. Twice. Deal. Stella,
I didn't mean to harm you or William. I saw an opportunity to create a distraction and it went horribly wrong. For what it's worth, I think about the events of that night every day. It's eating me up. I don't care that you suffer. Do you have any idea how I feel? I know. I understand. Fuck. What is the iris? I only know what the message said. They were forbidden from contacting us, but someone on the ship went rogue. They thought we should know. There were known risks when the Zephyr was first conceived, but humanity was desperate. Many of those risks were associated with the link of its mission. A lot can change in 130 years. Especially technology. They considered that maybe a better propulsion method would come along just a decade later that cut the travel time in half. Or that other nearby planets would become viable for human life while the Zephyr was already en route to Otis. And the latter is exactly what happened. They were already drawing up plans for another generation ship at that point. As soon as the Iris was finished, it set course for Otis B. All this happened years ago, unbeknownst to anyone here. When we received their communication a few months ago, the Iris was a mere 2 years away from the Otis system. So it's not even technically a generation ship. The total travel time is just about 25 years. Oh my god. Oh my god. So we might even meet other humans. If we change course to Otis, yes, they'd already be there. Curtis, we've changed course, or rather, we still are. What? Why do you think the power went out? The engine was turned on without proper procedure and caused a full reboot. If we don't course correct within the next few hours, we will be en route to Otis for good. No. Don't pretend like you didn't know about this. I had no idea, I swear. I thought... You didn't orchestrate this whole thing? Stella, I'm telling the truth. I have no interest in being shot twice. Besides, how would I pull that off? I was barely able to talk to anyone for the past month. You were using the secret server. I have no idea what you're talking about. Without my PDA, I can't connect to any server, secret or otherwise. That's a good point. I have to find the culprit and force them to let us back into the system. Do you have the slightest idea who it could have been? If they're trying to get to Otis B, then I assume they know we could settle there. They don't necessarily know about the Iris. Just that there's a new terraforming technology we may be able to use. Whoever got wind of that and is sick of life on the ship, that's your guy. Agreed. I have to go find them before it's too late. Curtis. I cannot forgive you for what you did. You'll have to stand trial for the murder of my father. I understand. Stella, do you want us to course correct back to US? It's our mission.
My head was spinning. For over a month, the mystery surrounding my dad's death had constantly occupied my mind. There was a brief moment of relief, a weight lifted off my shoulders when I found out who was responsible and why he did what he did. The feeling was immediately overshadowed when I realized the scope of the situation. Everything finally fell into place. Of course, Earth had never told us about Otis B. Of course, the Zephyr would never be able to terraform it. The Iris was the final missing piece that the captain had tried to keep from us. I couldn't fathom the possibility of meeting other people on Otis B. How many were there? What were they like? I started daydreaming of blue skies on an alien world, an ocean of friendly faces in unfamiliar uniforms. Looking back, I felt isolated on the Zephyr. I harbored hope that meeting people in a new context would be my chance to reinvent myself and my place in society. At the same time, I realized how selfish my thoughts were. It would be pointless to go to Otis B knowing that humans were already settling there, when our whole mission was to bring humanity to a new place.
Yeah, but so much has happened on this ship right now, I don't think it would make that trip. I think that this Zephyr has gone through pretty much unrevocable change, for good or bad. Okay, I'm going to assume... Assistant Captain Curtis, yes, we know this now. You know what? We're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to say that it's Eric. Let's go. Find the hacker, solve all cases correctly. Yes, let's go.
This is it. Eric, it makes so much sense. I have to go find him fast and bring him to the bridge. Time to confront Ava as well. She and the captain must have had an interesting talk already.
In the final hour before things came to a head, you could cut the tension in the command area with a knife. The crew knew that there was very little time left to save the mission. The population, meanwhile, knew barely anything at all, which understandably upset them. By now, Talia had ordered a partial lockdown of the ship for fear of intervention. It was an unprecedented move, a drastic decision even by her standards. She barely even seemed to trust the crew around her. It was somewhat understandable, but I couldn't help but feel that she had some responsibility for her predicament. She had increasingly avoided direct communication with the general population for a long time, and now she was afraid they would make their voices heard no matter what. She was probably aware of the bitter irony herself.
Move. Wait, what is my son doing here?
I have no idea. Dad! Navigator Eric. We have known each other for decades. We stepped foot on this ship together. I never imagined you could betray all of us like this. And betray yourself. You accepted the same mission as everybody here after all.
What is my son doing here?
He is the reason, isn't he? His condition. Once you heard there was a chance of planetary life for him, you took it. But you choose for all of us, not just him.
Some of us care about our children, Captain.
Tread lightly. Take him to the brig, Bodo.
With pleasure.
Wait, what about doing the hack? I thought we needed him. I thought so too, but Navigator Joseph was able to regain control over the system just a moment ago. We can correct our course as soon as it is done rebooting.
No, please. Joseph, you are killing my son.
Eric, your son wants to serve the mission, as a matter of fact.
He literally won't be able to. He'll die before he even completes his training.
He told me he didn't want to sabotage it. Isn't that right, Assistant Navigator Elliot? Yes, Captain.
He's a child. He doesn't fully understand what all this means, and you damn well know it.
I merely asked him what he wanted.
For the first time in your life, you raging hypocrite. Shut up and move.
Teacher Ava, do you have any idea of the damage you've done to our shared goals? Who is us? I think you still overestimate the social cohesion on this ship. Who else is part of your little club? You could have met them all right now if you hadn't taken my PDA away. What do you mean? What were you planning? What do you want? You saw the letter I sent to Lewis, didn't you? That should have given you an idea of what we want. More democracy. In the long term, yes. But let's start out with something very concrete. We know about Otis B. We demand a vote. Let the people decide where they want to go. Everybody cast their vote long ago when they set foot on this ship. I was born on this ship. I never voted for anything. Did you, Stella? No, I didn't. I'm sure you'd like to have some agency over your own life for once. Ava, not like this. Don't be naive, Stella. There's no other way to effect real change.
The ethics committee was informed of all our concerns time and time again, and of course they fell on deaf ears. Maybe not all of us want their parents' job. Maybe not all of us want a child at 35. And maybe not all of us want to die out here. I know I can't force you to do anything, but I'm asking, I'm begging. Please stop forcing us to. Let the people decide. You alone are in control of the situation here, Stella. The executive branch is all yours, for better or for worse. Make the right choice. Tell your people to stand down. Chief, listen to me. This mission is so much bigger than all of us here. Billions of people already cast their vote. They had trusted us with this responsibility, this incredible privilege to serve humanity. It's not up to you or me, or even all of us put together, to abandon it. We're not abandoning anything. We're putting the mission's target planet up to a vote. It's simply not up to us. The Codex states clearly that betraying the mission or not is not a choice anyone is authorized to make. I am able to strip you of your powers immediately if you directly jeopardize mission success. Do you hear this, Stella? What good is your post if it can be stripped away at will by a single person? I need to think. Start the vote. I know you want to. I know you haven't been happy in a long time. This is your first steps towards... Is this why you've been trying to get close to me? And Lewis too? Just to manipulate me when the time is right? You've been manipulated your whole life, but not by me or Lewis. I swear I genuinely like you, Stella. She is still trying to manipulate you, Chief. You cannot let your emotions get the better of you. What's it gonna be, Stella? I have an idea about this. I'll explain it. We have to hold a vote. Chief, with all due respect, how else do you expect us to go forward? We'll continue to be trapped on this ship together. Do you want to turn the residential area into a second brig? She's right, Dad. We should get a broadcast out. Let's get this started. We don't have much time. The wording of this broadcast is going to play a huge role in how people vote. What a democratic thing to say. I'm not advocating for manipulation. Quite the opposite. This is why I wanted all of us to be here and discuss it together. We have to make it quick. The navigators are standing by. They haven't touched the controls yet, but we have no more than an hour left until the fuel is depleted. People don't even know about Otis yet. I'm still processing it myself, and I've known for weeks now. How did you find out, anyway? That doesn't matter now. I'll tell you after all of this is over. I agree it's a lot to take in and base an important decision on, but there's nothing we can do about that. Democracy isn't perfect. We have to trust the people to do the right thing. Because that's never turned out to be a terrible idea. Aren't you a history teacher? We hold a vote, and that's final. What do we need to discuss? We're going to need a paragraph about Otis B and the new terraforming technology, as well as one informing everyone about our agreement. The people need to know that the crew is on board with this course of action and will honor the vote. Fine. How are people going to cast their votes? Some foolproof anonymous system would be best, but I suggest we use PDA messages. We should read and evaluate them together as they come in. Can we use your PDA for that, Stella? Mine? Sure. Is there anything else you want to include in the broadcast? No, we gotta be completely... Actually, there is. I think people should know the full truth to make an informed decision. The truth about what? I'm
working myself up to it. Chief, don't. How do you think we learned the truth about Otis B? Earth never wanted us to know. There's another ship like ours, the Iris. What?
Another generation ship?
That's enough. Not technically, since they're reaching their goal in just one generation. They're about to reach Otis B. Are you saying we'd meet other people? Listen.
Ooh, advocate for Otis B? Or, I don't know. Yeah.
We would meet other people. I know it's a huge argument for Otis B to a lot of people, but I think they deserve to know. Are you serious? This is real? Captain, you saw the message with our own eyes. I did.
Stell, I can't believe you didn't tell me about this.
It's very new to me, too. Okay, great. Now it's even more to process. Let's add it to the paragraph about Otis B. Yeah. Thank you for telling us. Navigator Joseph, we've tallied the votes. You really told everyone about the Iris.
I've been considering it for so long.
I thought everyone deserved to know about the possibility of meeting other people.
Did it sway their votes?
Maybe. They did vote to abandon the mission. We're going to Otis B.
So I don't correct the course.
No. Let the ship finish its maneuver.
I suppose Eric will be thrilled.
I have a feeling it won't just be him. You called for me, Captain? I did. Thank you for coming.
I wanted to talk to you ahead of tomorrow's big ethics committee session. No matter the outcome, we have some things to settle between the two of us. About the Iris. It was foolhardy to trust the general public with this information. Even more so because you used it to turn the sentiment on the ship against the mission.
There's no taking it back now. And I stand by my decision. Anyway, I always knew that introducing voting on anything would be the downfall of the whole system. Democracy is a nice luxury that we cannot afford on the Zephyr. Some situations call for strict hierarchies, and the mission is one of them. We signed away our voting rights when we started it. That's easy to say for the person at the top, who actually did make the decisions to be here, unlike many of us.
When you're all stuck in a place together, how do you judge or punish your fellow captives? And after a period of turmoil and unrest, who even judges whom in the end? The people who happen to come out on top certainly aren't innocent either. The ethics committee struggled with this problem and decided early on that there wouldn't be any severe punishments such as lengthy prison sentences. Of course, pretending that nothing happened wasn't an option either. We had to strike a balance to keep our little society somewhat functional. It took us months to work through all the accusations and evidence. Between certain individuals, some residual animosity can still be felt to this day.
Yeah, well...
There was a long debate about whether Eric's decision to divert the ship's course was selfish or selfless. Everybody believed his claim that the power outage had been accidental, but that didn't take away from its catastrophic consequences. 4 people had died, and many more had suffered severe and long-lasting injuries. At least the damages to the ship turned out to be mostly superficial. The ethics committee noted that, regardless of his intent, motive, or state of mind, Eric's actions had been incredibly reckless. He spent the weeks leading up to his sentencing in the brig. The ethics committee revoked his access to the bridge and permanently relegated him to the inner hull.
Hopefully he can still be with his kid.
People had voted against carrying out the mission. A chain reaction of changes unfolded throughout the ship. Everything was suddenly up for debate. Hierarchies, career choices, offspring. The dissidents had essentially won in the court of public opinion and were largely spared prosecution for their actions. Ava admitted to having planned the insurrection for over a year. She began her testimony by recounting a late-night conversation at the bar with Geraldo, Michio, and some additional people whose names she wouldn't divulge. She was surprised to be met with universal agreement when she aired her grievances about the Zephyr's rigid social structure. Over the next few months, she went on to formulate a list of demands that slowly morphed into a manifesto for self-determination, which she deemed incompatible with the goals of the mission. She came up with a system to recruit allies without leaving a trace on the Zephyr's networks, which we stumbled upon when the letter in the inner hull was discovered. At that point, the movement and its talking points had already gained a lot of support in the general population. Taking the server online and sending out a mass broadcast on arrival day was meant to bring public pressure to a boiling point. However, the plan was delayed when the power outage occurred on that same day through sheer coincidence.
Whoops.
Ava and her accomplices had no knowledge of the hack or its intended purpose. When they looked into it through their network, Noelia quickly cracked and revealed the truth about Otis B. The group then devised the plan of putting the course change to a vote and allow the people, as they put it, to be the masters of their own destiny. In a last-ditch attempt to force the vote, they made the decision to storm the bridge and stall the course correction. I was thoroughly questioned about my role in the whole ordeal.
What's going to happen to Stella
Lorna was on
here?
the ethics committee at the time. She spoke out for me every chance she got. I think she really appreciated that I had sided with her about the painkillers for her pet.
Oh, huzzah.
My decision to make the iris a matter of public record was not punished in any way. On the contrary, it was generally well received.
Take that, Captain.
Captain Talia filed a complaint against me for defying her order to arrest Joseph. I stood by my decision, and the matter was ultimately dropped. The ethics committee argued that the situation was complex, and that Joseph turned out not to be a threat to anyone after I let him go. The main charge against me was the use of excessive force against Michio, resulting in his death. Our final encounter haunts me to this day. I'll never forget the way he collapsed, the endless amounts of blood spilling out onto the floor. I immediately rushed to provide first aid, but as soon as I saw his blank eyes staring back at me, I knew there was nothing I could do. My memory of the following hour or two is still very fuzzy. I know I called Paul and just sat there until he arrived. Someone brought me to my bunk and helped me wash off the blood. Then I fell asleep on my bed for a while. Even though he attacked me first, I fully blame myself for Michio's death. I kept thinking about alternative ways the whole thing could have played out. The ethics committee ultimately ruled that I shot him in self-defense. I didn't receive any formal punishment, which left me with mixed feelings.
Can't have a revolution without
Dad
bloodshed.
died a little over 3 years ago. It's actually arrival day today, but that no longer means anything. Well, except for one thing. We just received another communication from Earth. It's the first one since we came clean about the course change. I don't know yet how they took it, but I assume they're pretty disappointed. The captain forwarded one message to me directly hours ago. It's time I watched it.
Hello, my beautiful daughter. I don't even know where to begin. I hope you're safe and sound out there. I'm not going to lie, a lot of people on Earth are pretty pissed at you. But you know what? I say, good for you. I'm glad the Sparrow decided to spread its wings and fly free. Mission Control left you in the dark about your options, which I never supported. I'm proud of you for figuring it out. Nobody here has any idea how you did it. Thank you for trying to tell us all those years ago, Mom. Ever since they said we re-established contact with you, I thought about this next part. I was devastated to hear about William's passing. I thought you'd have so much time left together. I hope you're holding up okay, and I wish I could be there for you. It's hard for me to say much more about it. You knew him so much better at this point than I probably ever did. But I do know that the man I remember would want you to come into your own. I don't know how things work on a ship now that you've changed course. I just want you to know that you can do whatever you set your mind to. I wish you all the success in the universe. Thank you, Mom.
Stell? Stell! Are you in here?
I'm here. Come in.
Listen, we're... Oh! Chi-Chi almost slipped out.
Yeah, she keeps trying to do that. Do you think I should just let her go?
As in, let her roam free?
Yeah. Give her a shot at being an outside pet.
I mean, she wouldn't be the only one on the ship. They seem to handle themselves just fine.
Let her out. Open the door.
Are you sure?
Yeah. She clearly wants it.
If you say so.
Sweet freedom! See you soon, Chi-Chi.
Listen, Stell. We're about to establish contact with the Iris again. We're getting so close now, we can almost talk without any delay. It's time to discuss our next steps together. The captain wants you to be there for it.
Sounds exciting. I'm ready. Lead the way.
Alright, let's go. Oh, I almost forgot. Happy Arrival Day, Stell.
Happy Arrival Day.
Whew. Finish the story. Look at that. Heading to a brand new world. Okay. I assume that credits are going to be rolling here soon? Or we may get another scene? That ended very similar to like Lacuna. You saw the consequences of all of your actions. I think Stella came out pretty well. The reason I did what I did is because I could tell that the captain, no matter how well her intentions were, it was going to lead to basically, cases cracked 10, optional encounters discovered 2, dissidents apprehended out of 4, clues collected 686 scans triggered. Whoops. Talia was the Zephyr's captain in the end. The people of the Zephyr decided to abandon their mission. Chi-Chi returned to her home. You found out who's hacked the Zephyr's navigation. You found the leader of the dissident group. You found the person responsible for William's death. Hot damn. So, the reason we did this is I could tell just by what she did to her son, regardless of what her son did, using Eric's son to kind of gaslight him and using Bodo as kind of an enforcer, I was getting this vibe that the captain was willing to put on the iron fist and keep it on in order to save the mission. That's the kind of thing I was getting. Now, don't get me wrong, Ava was being manipulative too, but it was really having to choose the lesser of two evils, in my opinion. You know, a chaotic kind of democracy or something going more toward a dictatorship. And you also have to keep in mind, when you got to their destination, who's to say that that kind of order, that caste system that was starting to be really enforced and probably would have been reinforced, was ever going to change? You know, after they left the ship. I don't know. I just think that was the better option for everybody. But that was it, guys. That was Between Horizons. Really good game. Very intricate stories. I wasn't a big fan of the math puzzles because being very math dyslexic myself, but otherwise, it was what I expected from the folks that made Lacuna. It was a great game. And I hope you all enjoyed it too. Will this actually go to credits here? Oh, no. Well, we got credits right here. So, thank you all very much for watching. Love point and click adventure games, and I'm glad to add this one to our conquered adventures. But if you guys like the series, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you in the next series. Later days, everyone.